Hands together to welcome sir. I invite Mr. Mayuresh Shingore, lead of Connected Business at Digital Blanket. Mr. Shingore specializes in sustainable practices within the data centers. And ladies and gentlemen, the session will be chaired by Mr. A.S. Pandey, General Manager, IT and Chief Information Security Officer at Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back everyone to Technical Presentation Session 2, where we will be delving into cybersecurity in cloud and data centers, mitigating risk in hyperconnected world. As the world becomes increasingly connected, the importance of robust cybersecurity measures and sustainable practices in data centers has never been greater. And we begin this session while our chair for the session is joining us. I would take So I was about to take on your role of the chair. And so let's welcome our session chair, Mr. Pandey. So before we begin our first presentation, I would like to make an announcement once again that all those leaving the venue are kindly requested to deposit their lanyards at the registration counter so that we could reuse or regenerate them, and this is a small contribution towards saving wastage of some valuable assets and of course saving the environment. And for this session, since we have very less time left, we have to commence our next session in time only. So we will request all our presenters to kindly limit their presentations to 10 minutes itself, and if time permits, then we will have question and answers in the end. Otherwise, we will request all our participants seated in the front to kindly pass on their questions with their name and contact details to our session chair, and they can be addressed later on. Thank you. So I hand over to our session chair. Over to you, sir. Would you like to begin with your presentation?
There's no presentation.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Thank you.
So thank you, ma'am. Post-lunch sessions are the most difficult sessions, and I've been given the responsibility to manage one of them. I hope I am able to do justice to it. And the topic is very interesting and very contextual, which talks of cybersecurity, cloud, data centers, hyper-connected world, and mitigating the risks. So if we look at the landscape today and the vision of the government, the landscape very clearly talks of providing digital delivery of services. The world has got used to it, and the key enabler for it till now, even in the ICT kind of an environment, key enabler for provisioning of a service, digital service, was always a data center. It was at the heart of the services. As demand grew for services, as digital proliferation increased, you had this migration in the technology part at least, or evolution in the technology part at least, from data centers to private clouds to public clouds, and now people are talking of hybrid clouds. So the cloud has emerged as a necessity. It is providing a very essential feature, which is availability of service nearly 100% time today, because if something is down for even a minute, people are crying and making noise. So to that extent, the role of cloud and cloud service providers becomes very important. But be that as me, as it is, the role is as important as it is, the political and rather geopolitical ecosystem has also undergone a change. From what was a normal cybersecurity threat, from normal script queries or just vulnerability management, today you have the state getting involved, which has economic ramifications and finally the impact on the economic growth of the country. So a critical data center, though all may not be classified as a critical infrastructure, they actually emerge as a critical infrastructure. If I'm able to ensure a downtime on a data center for a significant long period, a lot of business continuity gets affected. And therefore, the security of the data center or the cloud service is very important. And coming next, the UN has picked up the next big challenge, which is the sustainability part of it. So many data centers coming up all around the country, at least in India, even globally, each one running into megawatts of capacity. So where do we see the carbon footprints emerging on this? The government is committed to going net zero by 2050, and with the kind of proliferation of data centers that is happening, sustainability emerges as a next big challenge. So the entire ecosystem of digital delivery of services therefore revolves around in some way or the cloud infrastructure. And I'm very glad to have very esteemed set of panelists with me or speakers with me who will decipher each segment of this ecosystem for you as given their experience in the most simplest terms. So first I will come to Mr. Diwakar Jaiswal. He's a joint director with Software Technology Park of India. Over 16 years of services. Last 5 years, he has been with STPI, and he's been involved with data centers, cloud computing, datacom, information security, and audit verticals. He is also actively involved with one very important vertical for the government, which is the government cloud service. And so now I'll request Mr. Jaiswal to please share his thoughts on cybersecurity in cloud data centers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, on journey to the hybrid cloud. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Diwakar Jaiswal, sir has given very nice intro. Thank you. Today, I'm going to talk about the journey to hybrid and multi-cloud. As far as STPI's data center business is concerned, STPI has started its data center journey in 2009 by building first tier 3 data center at Chennai, and it was majorly built for the Passport Seva project, which is still hosting there. And thereafter, we have built 4 more tier 3 data center at Warangal, Bhubaneswar, Mohali, and Bangalore. Now we have 5 tier 3 data centers. And now STPI is going to start its journey towards the cloud business. So I would request team to play a small video of our cloud Ananta.
Welcome to the future. Introducing a revolution in cloud computing for India. Ananta represents a historic moment in the evolution of the cloud. This is a journey that will redefine the boundaries of innovation and empower enterprises and individuals alike to reach new heights of productivity and efficiency. Hosted in STPI's secure, redundant data centers in India, Ananta is not just another cloud platform, it's a game changer for India's sovereignty. Ananta is a platform that not only meets but exceeds the needs of today's digital landscape. As we continue to push boundaries of technology, we invite you to join us on this incredible journey of innovation and discovery. Embrace the future of cloud computing with Ananta, our hyperscale cloud platform.
Thank you. We are building this cloud along with the PPP partnership with Yotta, which is the leading data center service provider in India. As far as my agenda is concerned, I will a bit talk about STPI, what STPI is doing, and what are the cloud growth drivers, what is the future cloud roadmap, and then hybrid cloud market, and then about the STPI's Ananta cloud solution. STPI was established in 1991 for promoting the software export from India. And gradually we entered into the data center, cybersecurity, and other kind of services apart from providing the promotional services. The first service which STPI started was the statutory service, that is Software Technology Park Service and Electronic Hardware Technology Park scheme, wherein we used to provide the incentive to the companies who export the software or electronic hardware. We also provide the incubation scheme where the startup can be incubated and we incentivize them also. Apart from this, for exporting the software, we first set up the international gateway back in 1993 over the satellite link so that the softwares can be exported from India. And apart from this, we provide the startup promotion scheme in which we incentivize startups. We have set up around 25 centers of entrepreneurship across India in a different technology domains like blockchain, artificial intelligence, or 5G, fintech, medtech. They are the different technology domains. Apart from this, we have started this next generation incubation scheme. This scheme basically focuses for the tier 2 and tier 3 cities to create the startup ecosystem in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We also in project management and consultancy services where we execute the turnkey projects, end-to-end turnkey project. We provide the ICT solutions to our customers, government, state government. And we are also in data center, as I earlier said. STPI is also a certain impaneled information security auditor. We are doing the audit of very prestigious projects of India. And another service are BPO, that is business process outsourcing, or you can say call center. We provide the viability gap funding for the companies who are setting the call center in 2 or 3 cities. And another scheme is EMC, that is Electronic Manufacturing Cluster Scheme, in which if any state wants to set up electronic manufacturing cluster, then government provides the gap funding there. This was all about the STPI services. Now I talk about what are the growth factors or growth drivers for cloud. Increasing demand for the IT services due to emerging technology and global IT spending to reach around 5 trillion in 2024. And the government initiative like Digital India Initiative, GI Cloud, and data center policies of various stages, these are fueling for the cloud services. And skilled manpower, robust network. Now many of Indian companies are making the hyperscale data center, like Yotta is there, Adani is also making, Jio is also making the hyperscale data centers. We have the very skilled and talented workforce at a very competitive price as compared to US and Europe. And growing domestic market such as smart city and e-delivery of citizen services, etc. These are the growth factors involved for the emergence of cloud. And a reason for pursuing the cloud services. If I talk about the top reasons, the business requires more flexibility, the kind of flexibility which cloud can provide, the conventional solution cannot provide this. Resiliency, optimal IT operation, and scale of demand. You see, I can give the example of CoWIN app, the kind of scale it cannot be met through the conventional IT infrastructures. And obviously, the capex is being converted to the OPEX cost. Why Indians are taking cloud so seriously? As we have compiled from the 2-3 reports, and the gist is that around 78% of Indian enterprises are already have more than 30% of their hosted on the cloud. 58% of Indian enterprises are moving new workload, focused modernization and transformation to the cloud. 36% of Indian enterprise IT infrastructure is spent for the cloud only. Modernization and business growth are the single largest reason for the enterprise cloud adoption in India. India cloud market is expected to grow at a CAGR of 22.9 till 2027. And Indian market projected to cross $17.8 billion by 2027. Cloud may account for 8% of India's GDP by 2026, up to USD of 380 billion. And cloud is expected to create 14 million jobs in India. Then, what are the roadmap for embracing the future? We have complied with few, like future is hybrid and multi-cloud environment. Organizations are increasingly adopting the multi-cloud, and focus on the security is increasing day by day. With the emergence of AI, now penetration is easy for a common user also. They can just ask ChatGPT to write a code and it can automate it. So focus is increasing on the security and compliance also. Rise of serverless computing. Serverless architecture will gain the traction. Rise of artificial intelligence, AI ML. Apart from this edge computing is also gearing up. Sustainability in the cloud computing is also a very asked for feature, and regular and data sovereignty, regulation and data sovereignty, security and privacy enhancement, and interoperability and standardization. Today, in today's environment, interoperability is very important. As in the morning session, our Director General has already quoted this point that we can scale only through this interoperability. Suppose an application made on AWS and want to move to some other cloud player, it should be seamless. It should be not bound to a particular operator. So interoperability is going to play a very vital role here. Yeah, future is hybrid and multi-cloud. What application need? Best application experience, application adaptive infrastructure, application first security. And these things can be met through multi-cloud and hybrid cloud solutions. As far as hybrid cloud market is concerned, as of 2023, it was $96 billion, and as of 2032, it is projected to be $414 billion, with a CAGR of 17.2. Yeah. This slide will talk about what are the drivers for hybrid cloud, restraints, opportunity, and challenges. Growing demand for agile and scalable and cost-effective computing is the main driver for it. And if I talk about the restraints, lack of technical expertise to manage the hybrid cloud or multi-cloud environment, lack of awareness about the privacy and security concerns which can be met through it. If I see what are the opportunity to it, growing need for the future, for more computational power, rapidly increasing adoption of hybrid cloud. Challenges are here, the workload complexity increases. As we go on hybrid cloud, the complexity increases. And secure integration with the on-prem and off-prem is also a challenge. If I talk about the advantage, flexibility. Hybrid and multi-cloud solution offer greater flexibility as compared to traditional solution. You can scale, which cannot be achieved through the on-prem solutions. Scalability and cost saving is also there. As and when required, scalability is required, then you use the public cloud, otherwise you come to your normal on-prem cloud. Keeping all these things in mind, STPI decided to come with a solution, and Ananta has been created. Ananta has been created along with the PPP partnership with Yotta. As I earlier said, Ananta is a sovereign cloud, sovereign trusted cloud being managed by Indians only, operated by Indians, and all the data will reside in India only. At a high level, this diagram will show you what we are planning. Initially, we are going to start with 2 of our data center for the GCC, Government Community Cloud Services. This Government Community Cloud will be in air gap with our hybrid cloud solution. And we are deploying the hybrid cloud solution at each of our data centers. And this hybrid cloud will be integrated to hyperscalers so that if any of the services which right now is not available with ourselves, then it can be availed from there. And wherever required, we can burst to the hyperscalers also. For that purpose, Yotta hyperscaler is there. And we can also integrate multiple hyperscaler. So this cloud support hybrid as well as multi-cloud functionality. Yeah, our cloud solution is a complete sovereign cloud that is operated by a sovereign entity. Only data will reside only in India, and operation and maintenance by Indian citizen only. I will just rush up because the time is over, as I told. So I will jump to the services section. Yeah, we have planned to offer 3 categories of services: fundamental services, which are basically IaaS and PaaS services. It contains all kind of services. And in the advanced services, we will offer the SaaS services like email, calendar, collaboration, project management services, everything. Through Ananta, we will provide the complete 360 managed services, starting from the cloud adoption and migration, cloud optimization, then cloud security, and then operation and management also. We are also setting up NOC and SOC at each of our data center to manage it and secure it, and we will also provide SOC as a service to our customers. Ananta would also have a marketplace where STPI is supporting around thousands of startups in India, so that a startup can bring their solution to the marketplace and it can be availed by the customers.
Sorry for interjecting. Yeah,
Thank you. Sorry.
Maybe the timely interjection.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Divakar. Thank you for giving us insights into Ananta and how STPI has partnered with the private ecosystem to provide robust infrastructure, at least in terms of sovereign cloud in India. I would now move on to Dr. Debrat Nayak, who is the director with PwC India, PhD in wireless security, to touch upon the security-related aspects of cloud services.
Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, let me start what exactly the whole world is talking now. They are talking 4 words. They are A, B, C and D. What actually A, B, C, D stands for now? A is artificial intelligence, B is broadband, that is mobile broadband, C is cloud computing, D is distributed systems. No computing is nowadays is required for centralized systems. But what India has made the changes, we are really proud of what our Honorable Prime Minister has made the changes. A means Atmanirbhar Bharat, B means BharatNet, C means come and make in India, D means data center proliferation. So that is how actually India is making the digital landscape and making the changes in the digital center. So that is where actually we are fortunate that we are going to cater to the different societies. If you see the slide, can you move? In the meantime, if you see the data center, what exactly they are catering, they are not catering to a specific sectors. They are catering to healthcare, education, agriculture, safety. They are into everywhere. all the services are running on top of all this, that is going to provide the public services. So data center is nowadays is a very critical and important for all the verticals which is running to serve the common man or the common citizens. Whether you can take the examples of financial services, power utilities, or you can say the safe cities or smart cities. All these are running in terms of data centers. If our data centers are not secure, then of course you will find out a lot of services will not get secure. So, can you move to next slide? No, it is not working. Yeah, cloud and virtualization technique is the main factor which will be used in the data centers. So when you see the cloud and virtualization techniques are working in the data center, basically you will find out all these computing powers will be required when actually you need it. And then you have to release it when actually you don't need it. So that way actually it required a lot of security recommendations. Security was previously used in the data sector in the standalone manner. Now you have to find out how exactly you will use security and when actually your virtual networks are running from one point to another point. Your VNFs are running from one point to another point. Your access control is no more centralized. You have to put the access control in such a way that your virtual machines will interact from each other. So that is how the modern data centers are catering. So ITU has defined a very specific, this one, okay. ITU has defined a very specific methodology, and based on this each and layer and each segment, you will find out they provide a set of security recommendation and set of security controls, and you can use in different layers of your data center. And the most important thing which is coming into picture in the data center is the network function virtualization. Your data center is no more a centralized data center. Your router, switches, all this that you put in the data center is now become central network function virtualization. It will work like a function. And when it works like a function, you have to provide lot of security between them, how actually they are working. So I have given a cloud security framework. On the context of time, I am not going in details. You have a cloud broker, you have access control manager, you can use all these parameters, how actually you can do the cloud. And ultimately, once you do these things, you have to use the auditing mechanism, how actually you are going to audit. Because all your clouds are hosted in, whether you take AWS or you take Google Cloud, all will be hosted in different geopolitical locations. So you have to do the auditing properly to make that your data, whatever you have hosted, they are safe, they are secure, they are abide by the local law and regulation. What actually recently we have the local law will play a very important role based on the DPDP Act. So we must see where exactly the data is residing. So distributed data center, it depends on how actually you will build out a large scale amount of data center into the force. And when you build these things, you don't need a single security mechanism that will place. You can put your anti-DDoS mechanism, you can put other mechanism, but basically you will find out that this kind of mechanism must scale as long as your application is scaling. Government runs a lot of heavy applications. When all these applications run, basically you will find out your security will also run, and based on this, your data center mechanism will take place. So I have given how actually the big data will play a very important role in data center. When you are taking a terabytes of data and you are analyzing these data, you have plenty of security providers will come. In the right side, you will see your Trend Micro, F5, your Semantic, there are a lot of security players will be there. How actually you will correlate all these data? How actually you will take effective security measures? And based on this, you can take a appropriate decision at the appropriate time. So that need to be taken care when actually you are running a huge or large hypervised data centers. So to run these kind of data centers, you are putting all the security appliances one by one, but you need to evaluate and you need to find out for what control, what applications or what appliance you are actually putting, and what is actually it is preventing into your short term, long term and medium term. So that you need to evaluate based on the, you have to take appropriate actions. But to analyze large amount of data, it is very cumbersome process. If you are using some kind of technology like Hadoop technologies, so that will help actually how you can analyze large amount of big data in the data center, and that will take a very quick action when actually you will take a necessary decision based on the management requirements. Another one thing I have told, the big elephant in the data center is the cloud. I have given a cloud architecture. But the second elephant which is coming to a data center is the artificial intelligence, is the AI. AI is used heavily in the data centers now. They are analyzing the lot of security related events. What are the events happening in the data centers? How actually will take care of all these events? How will take a decision in the appropriate time? Is there any ransomware attack is happening in there? How will take all these things? So the combination of cloud and AI when operating in a data center is like how actually will take a necessary step to come out and take a judgmental decision at appropriate time. Let me give a very practical example. I was just coming from Mumbai to Delhi. I was traveling in an Indigo flight. I think many of you have traveled in the Indigo flight. Indigo flight, there is no barrier. You can always see the captain is going inside, coming outside. So the moment captain comes outside, the flight go to a toss. It goes to a huge turbulence. And the person which was sitting beside me, he told, he was looking like this. I said, what happened? So I am looking at the pilot because pilot has gone to the restroom. The flight is going toss. Then I explained him, sir, don't worry. It is a Airbus 320 and it operates with a lot of artificial intelligence techniques. It has huge amount of decision making capability. So you do not have to worry. Then what did the gentleman do? He pulled the shutter and see outside. And he saw a lot of clouds outside. So he told me artificial intelligence in combination of cloud. So he's getting so much of scared. He started taking Hanuman mantra. He started in the meantime taking Hanuman mantra. So in the meantime the pilot came. The pilot went into the cockpit and the pilot, it is a coincidence. The pilot when go to the cockpit, the flight gets stable. Once the flight gets stable, he told me, look, what you do? I say, I'm working in a multinational company. He told, no, what is your qualification? I say, I'm a PhD from IIT Bombay. He said, that is the problem. He said, you people always leave everything to machine, everything to algorithms, everything to all these things. You see how the pilot came, then I chanted our mantra, then everything gets settled. So that means my objective of citing this example is, when you are running a data center with a cloud and artificial intelligence, the role of a CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, is like the gentleman. You will always look here and there what to do in a time of ransomware attack. If your CISO is not effective, not understanding how actually the data center is working with a lot of security parameters, then he will be like the gentleman. He will see, oh my God, let the God come and save me. But in a technology world, we have to understand each and every bit of the technology, how to apply it, and understand at the time of criticality, how to take necessary action, necessary decisions based on the cloud. Because cloud, it has a lot of data proliferated in different areas. And AI will take a lot of very precise actions, decisions by doing the log analysis. So that way you can find out it's a beautiful combination. I never thanks to anybody. I always follow these standard bodies who are internationally very renowned. They give the idea how actually our next generation and the next technology will be run. So that is how actually we need to find out to run a country or run a big data centers. We need to be a technologically understand the know-how and then apply the human factor. Then people, policy and technology, three should work combination in hand to hand. With this we can proliferate and our data center will be safe and all the data should reside in India. That is what the current DPDP Act is saying. So we'll see how actually it will come out in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nayak, for this extremely energetic talk. And on the lighter side, at least in the government sector, what I see, the CISOs are doing that mantra and puja when the CEO is out. So that is what is happening in the security space. But going ahead, we have seen various forms of ABCD. Now, one of the Ds was distributed computing, and with the next generation of technologies, communication technologies coming in, the 5G, 6G, you are going to see proliferation of edge data centers. And with AI, the devil in the room, you are seeing more and more compute being pumped in the same card. So the amount of energy that this entire infrastructure that is going to consume is going to be humongous. And if that kind of energy is being consumed, there are proponents who are talking in terms of sustainability and how sustainable the whole business of driving businesses through the cloud is there. There has been a test where a data center has been put in the sea, submerged in sea to meet the BTU heating requirements, and the whole project was actually rolled back. So on sustainability, we have with us over here Mayuresh, and I'll request Mayuresh, who is a lead with Digital Blanket, to kindly throw his light on sustainability portion of these data centers that we have. And Mayuresh has a very interesting background. He's almost 13 years of experience in smart business industries. And he brings with him data-driven approach for optimizing building performance. So no better than Mayuresh to probably throw light on how to make data centers more sustainable. Please, Mayuresh.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible. I've been put in a tough spot, one to follow Dr. Nayak after his energetic presentation and then the kind introduction by Mr. Pandey as well, but I'll try to do my best. Good afternoon. I know that I'm standing between you and a crisp tea, so I'll keep my presentation crisp as well. The focus today is on sustainability in data center operations. Looking at the landscape in India, data centers have consumed 139 billion kilowatt hours of energy as of June 2023. And this is reported at a CAGR of 4.4%. Out of this, let's say 40 to 50% of the energy consumption is typically associated with your cooling and your HVAC consumption. Out of which 20% is the expected wastage of energy that typically occurs when you operate data centers. So that is the landscape of opportunity that we have in terms of sustainability and energy management for data centers in India. What are the top issues that really affect energy wastages in data centers? First, you can't control what you can't measure. So lack of real-time monitoring, lack of sufficient data, a lack of insights into where are the typical wastage areas when it comes to operation. And I'm focusing here more on the HVAC and the cooling systems, which is where our specialty lies in. Inefficient operation of cooling systems. So while the entire data center might be revved up with BMS systems, with DCIM systems, but whether or not these systems are actually operating based on the cooling demand of the data center or based upon certain static parameters is a sort of a gray area that we are trying to solve for our clients. And underutilized servers. So ghost servers that are operating below capacity. These are power-hungry assets that organizations don't have visibility into. And hence, there need to be certain solutions that can give you a detailed insight into what is your server level energy consumption as well. So what are the different challenges that are associated with operating a typical data center? Energy management, so operating your HVAC systems efficiently. Thermal management, so ensuring that you don't have hot zones and cold zones within your entire environment. Also to understand the rack level temperature and humidity sensing when it comes to your operations. Asset management, so we spoke about ghost servers in the previous slide. Tracking and maintaining all your different equipment, different servers, and ensuring that you have an audited trail of all the different assets that you're carrying within the building is as equally important. And then ensuring that you have an end-to-end facility management system in place, which takes care of your maintenance activities, which takes care of replacements. I remember Mr. Suresh from Astrikos talking about the DG failure in the society. Something of this sort could have been avoided had there been real insight into the aging of the particular equipment or aging of the particular asset per se. So what are the drivers or what are the harbingers of sustainability in the future of data centers or the future data center? How is the future data center going to look like? So there are three important factors which are driving sustainability within data center operations. Which is driving decarbonization between data center operations, sustainability, energy and performance. A lot of the investments that are happening globally in the data center market as well as an asset class is happening through the green channel. Not less than 25% of the investments made so far globally are accorded to various green and sustainability based asset classes. So that is where organizations have to now comply with these standards. Also, the emissions that a data center emits is actually adding up to the emissions of your customers. So your scope 1 and scope 2 emissions are the scope 3 emissions of your customers. Hence, the more and more you look at global organizations, the more the demand is going to be to ensure that you comply with all the international and Indian regulatory standards when it comes to your scope emissions as well. In India, the government of India has already started BRSR reporting, so business responsibility and sustainability reporting. Very soon, this data is going to be treated at par with financial data. Today, we see a lot of greenwashing happening, which means that, reports are made, compliances are achieved without really data backing it up. Maybe 1 year or 2 years down the line, you'll not be able to do that, similar to how you cannot fudge or essentially wash your financial data as well. So this data and the compliances are going to be a business imperative, and it is important for organizations to start thinking of it as a business strategy rather than a good to have sort of a perspective. A lot of the times we measure the efficiency of our data centers with this term called PUE, power use effectiveness. In India, the PUE is typically close to on an average about 1.55 to 1.56, which obviously there is a need for us to improve it, but PUE alone as a factor is no longer sufficient. Because what PUE does not take into account is a couple of other metrics, which is called as CUE and WUE. So your carbon use effectiveness and your water use effectiveness. Because while your PUE is, let's say about 1.55, 75% of the energy that is generated in India is through non-conventional energy resources, typically attributed to coal. So just having a good PUE is no longer sufficient. You'll also have to start reporting on your CUE and WE parameters. And hence, you need technologies that can support such initiatives within your entire built environment or within your operational environment as well. And what are those technologies now, which can help you achieve certain goals that you set out as a strategic initiative? While a lot of data centers focus on DCIM as a must-have software solution or a technology intervention, there is a lot more that an integrated energy management system, a DCIM and a computerized maintenance system can do together, which is where now you need to look at an integrated approach in order to understand the different insights that the data is generating for you. I was speaking to one of the speakers during the lunch break, and he gave a very nice example. Data is like traffic on the streets. Unless and until you start analyzing the patterns between that data, there is no use of that data. So how do you make this data more relevant to you from a financial reporting perspective? How do you make it more insightful, and how does it help you make certain decisions? It could be in terms of predictive maintenance. It could be in terms of optimization of your operations. So the next part of it is IoT and AI. Where does IoT and AI help you? In order for you to optimize the consumption of your HVAC systems or your cooling systems effectively. We have a solution which has helped our clients achieve up to 14% month-on-month energy savings on their chiller plant and their AHU operations. So that is how strong and that is how proven this entire technology is. We have built a set of about 50 different energy conservation algorithms that can be implemented based on the different operational parameters that you typically look at. Preventive and predictive maintenance, so analyzing the different data patterns within your different equipment and then predicting whether a fault could occur. Again, IoT and AI will play a huge role in this particular environment as well. Integration of renewable energy. I think this is something that is a government imperative that we are all working on towards, but also to ensure that, instead of maybe exporting the energy back to the grid, how can you better utilize the amount of energy that you've generated within your captive plants itself? Through things such as thermal cooling, through things such as fast discharging batteries. Those are the type of technological interventions that we can bring about, which is the next point. So again, you need a robust set of software systems and technological solutions that can help you take those decisions in time. And what is the business impact, which is finally what we're looking at, the $1 million question. How does it help me? One, it helps you better utilize your existing infrastructure without making any additional capex investments. You also ensure that your overall staff productivity is enhanced. You reduce the amount of errors that are typically associated with operating a facility. You improve processes. You bring about a better customer experience. Most importantly, you can opt for green investments when it comes to capital that you're looking at. You save on your cost of operations. So that is a ready ROI equation right there in front of you. And in order to achieve various compliances, so whether it be international ESG compliances or looking at the Indian benchmark, the BSR compliance, net zero compliances, all of these are the impact that it makes on you as a business. And where is it that as an organization we can help you out with? So we have different offerings that we speak about for Digital Blanket. DB Energy is our AI-based platform that helps organizations optimize their HVAC consumption. Like I said, all the way up to 20% of their overall HVAC consumption. DB Automate is a complete centralized command and control platform that can integrate into multiple point solutions that you have so that you have one dashboard to monitor your entire facility. DB Optima is the facility management, computerized facility management solution that can help you automate and digitize all the different workflows that you have within your entire environment. And we also have a small family of sensors that can typically do air quality monitoring as well as thermal health monitoring. I'll try and conclude my presentation with a small quote from Vedantics. In the crowded environment of choosing a decarbonization partner, digital first service delivery is the name of the game. So this is from a recent quote by Vedantics. I hope I was able to shed some light upon this entire sustainability beast. We are Digital Blanket. We are happy to be your decarbonization partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Moiresh, for this interesting talk. And one very interesting figure that stood out from your presentation was 139 billion kilowatt hour. To put things in perspective, 139 followed by 9 zeros. That is the kind of energy that we are consuming as on today in India. Isn't it, Moiresh? In India. 139 billion kilowatt hour is in India.
In India as of 2023.
As of 2023. And if I extrapolate that data using Divakar's 22.7% growth rate of data centers, projected growth rate, and which excludes, by the way, the GPUs or the artificial intelligence segment of it, which are 23 to 27, so another 4. So we are actually looking at somewhere around 270 billion kilowatt hour of energy.
From data centers are as good as the airline industry today.
So, and that's not only a challenge in terms of negating it in terms of net zero, it is also a challenge in terms of producing it. The people have to be gearing up on the other side to produce that kind of power requirements to address your requirements.
In fact, yesterday we are having a discussion in Ministry of Electronics and IT regarding the what is the total data center capacity in India, which is supposed to be around 860 megawatt. And there were many operators, and the projection is in next 2 years it is going to be double. Yeah.
So thank you all. You want to make something? That's okay. Okay. Yeah. So thank you all my co-panelists and speakers over here for shedding light on the infrastructure, on the security of the infrastructure and sustainability of the infrastructure. Do we have time for one or two quick questions? So if there's questions from the audience, we are happy to take them on. I'll request you to kindly introduce yourself and direct the question to a specific speaker. Any questions? Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, how safe are data center and what are the tentative risks?
I think I'll direct that to Devrat. Yeah.
I think our data centers are very much safe because the kind of security control build up in the data centers is not a single layer approach now. We have evaluated many data centers in India. So what we find out that all the data centers has built up a multi-layer security approach. When they build up a multi-layer security approach, it becomes very secure, starting from the access control till all the persons of the assets. They classified their critical assets. They provide a specific weightage. They find out where the threat will asset. They do a proper threat analysis. Then they put a proper controls. So that is how actually the current. But having said that, when there will be a cloud and AI, I have given an example, both are in the data centers. It is a one elephant and one lion, they are dancing each other in a data center. So you have to find out a proper combination of the AI-based security controls, which are currently emerging. If you see, Elon Musk recently told that AI security is like a nuclear bomb. How actually will control all this security of artificial intelligence. So when you are putting artificial intelligence in your data centers, you have to put adequate security measures, because artificial intelligence can provide a security and save you, and also it will act as against you also. So that way actually we have to, when we go to the next generation data centers, when cloud and AI are built in, we have to serve realistic, we must accept, we have to go a long way.
Though the question is not specifically directed
sir,
at me, I would add to it. It is as safe as your house. If you decide to put combustible material and explosive together, it will explode. So whether you have AI or AI is only a regression, so whatever has been observed in past may be protected in future or heuristics based. That is for the part of the answer. Second question.
And that will be the last question. Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening. First of all, thanks for very insightful presentations to all the presenters. I have a question in basically one question and one sub-question. So now it's good to see a lot of Indian companies are coming up with this infrastructure as a service, SaaS, CPaaS and whatnot. But when Indian company will get fully vertically and horizontally integrated, like they will have their own cybersecurity, own infrastructure, own cloud computing capabilities, something in line with what Alibaba has done in China or Tencent has done in China. Now Chinese company, I'm aware that Chinese companies have this government backing and all. But what are the limitations for the Indian companies? And second question is that now the success of the likes of AWS is attributed to the network effects. Now network effect plays very, very important role in platform businesses. How Indian companies are going to address this particular attribute of not having network effects to the fully. So would love to have some, if you can throw some light would be great. Thank you.
Divakar, you would want to answer that?
As far as your first question is concerned, you are talking of how the SaaS service providers are putting their data. Right now, government doesn't have any control on it, where this data is going on. We might be availing the services from any Indian company, but we are not knowing where they are hosting this. So government is planning to have a SaaS guideline also, so that these data cannot be hosted outside of India. It is under planning. Soon it will come.
I think Devrat wants to add.
So regarding the startups ecosystem coming, how actually Indian ecosystem, like you have given a very, very good example of Tencent, Alibaba. I have been in that, I worked for Chinese company for 10 years. I know how actually the ecosystem is going. But having said that, we are a democratic country. We are not a country where actually we will force to do this and exclusively to develop this. So as far as I know, the security ecosystem is growing rapidly under the NASCOM and DSCI. There are a lot of security ecosystem has come out, and they are specifically solving to cloud security problems. There is a security called CloudSec has come, who has taken exclusively how to take care of the cloud security problems. Their AI Sec has coming. They will exclusively working on how to take care of AI security parts. So Indian ecosystem and Indian unicorn is now emerging. But of course, it will take a little bit of time. And based on this, as 5G is coming. You have seen recently India Mobile Congress has hosted the 5G. It's a huge ecosystem has come out there. So that means the Indian unicorn and the startup systems are growing. But of course, to scale into the level of Alibaba and all, we have to take some time because we have just started 10 years back. So it is time to, we'll definitely catch up there.
Infrastructure and security can never be complete. You have new threat vectors coming up every day. So you cannot have security being complete at any point in time. So that lag will always be there. It is where you find maturity that this has got matured, at least in terms of infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure. And coming to the second part of it, largely to do with data sovereignty or a sovereign cloud kind of infrastructure. The network effect do play a role because for the simple reason is that the traditional Indian CSPs right now, as they stand today, do not have the SaaS offerings, which is reducing the time to market for many products. That is where the absorption of the technology is happening. But with them, as they catch up with this cycle and reach the same place as, offerings reach the same place as probably what other your public cloud service providers are providing, you will have that thing growing automatically. Thank you.
But just a lighter note, it is my personal opinion, not my company opinion. You have seen what happens to Jack Ma, eh? You have seen it. So that means once the company goes to that extent in China, it is not allowed to go further extent. So that is where actually India is a very different country. We can allow any extent you can go and proliferate.
And with no intent to name any brand, we have had a recent outage of a significant log time where the leader in security and leader in infrastructure were involved. So infrastructure and security are never going to be enough. With that note, thank you to all my
Thank you,
speakers,
sir. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to convey our gratitude and appreciation to all our eminent speakers. I would request Mr. Pandey, our session chair, to kindly do the honors of presenting mementos, the token of appreciation to our eminent speakers. We present to Mr. Divakar Jaiswal, Joint Director, Software Technology, STPI. Thank you, sir. To Dr. Debrata Nayak, Director, PwC, India. And to Mr. Mayuresh Shingore. And may I request Brigadier Anil Tandon to kindly do the honors of presenting a token of gratitude and appreciation to our session chair, Mr. A.S. Pandey. And may I request all our panelists to kindly come together in the front for a group photograph. Brigadier Tandon, if you could join the group photograph, please. And ladies and gentlemen, requesting everyone to kindly remain seated as we are straight away moving into the concluding session. We'll just take few minutes to do up the top table and then we will straight away move into the proceedings of the concluding session, which is a panel discussion. Also, while we are setting up the top table, may I take this opportunity